Hey y'all, just want to, I guess, maybe add a little bit more to our post about our K-swap project 2012 WRX STI Subaru. And I'm going to include kind of, I guess, links of things that we added or whatever in the description, so check that out. But our highway side description was okay, but, just kind of I guess, a recap or whatever with a little bit more time to think. But again, the old EJ 25-7 that we pulled out, the typical problems with that we wanted to kind of avoid in the future. So head gasket issues, all that kind of stuff, ringland problems, we wanted to try and avoid that. So make a reliable car out of it. So we decided to put that K24 in. I guess just maybe a recap about the project. Took us a while. We kind of felt like, it was intended to be kind of, I guess, a daily driver kind of a thing. It certainly was my son's daily driver. So we kind of felt like we were always behind and not getting much done as we went through the project over 9 months. But we're glad that we're kind of to the point where it's drivable, where it's making, from my perspective, pretty decent power. Certainly as much as the old motor did, and we're hoping for better reliability as we go forward. But I'm not very good at this YouTube thing. Don't edit my videos, just kind of post them up there. Obviously, you can see that. So, but I really do think it's an interesting project anyway, and it's kind of been a fun thing for a father and a son to do together. So, just kind of, I guess, want to share that, with the world. So, just kind of wanted to go down the list of a few things maybe that we didn't include in our previous videos because I'm not good at editing anything at all. So, but also a shout out to some of the other fabricators, creators, that kind of stuff out there. Certainly we were inspired as we contemplated this project by, I think it's, Boosted Boys, Kyle or something. They did one. Another person that was really helpful in the project was, goes by the name of Black Thumb, north of the border up in Canada. Shout out to you up there. Really awesome videos about an Impreza K24 swap that he did. Not only that, but really great resources as far as like wiring and aftermarket ECU utilization. That kind of stuff was really helpful as we went forward in this project. Another one, I think it's Batter Built, is another one that did a K-swap that was also very interesting to us. So those are some of the places that kind of inspired our build, so I want to shout out to them. What else to add here? But the project, again, a lot of time, a lot of days off. I mean, I would say most of my days off were spent in the shop, just kind of doing this on our own. This wasn't something that we farmed out or had anybody else work on. It was strictly us, and we're novices. I don't do this. I don't do auto. I'm not an auto technician for a living. Always been interested in it, but I do something else for a career. My son as well, also a novice, but pretty good at fabricating, welding in particular. So yeah, we just kind of worked on it together and made it happen. But overall, it was, a lot of steps, a lot of research in kind of creating what our plan was. It was a little bit, on the fly, so to speak. We knew that we wanted to put in the K24. We wanted to try and do our best to reduce the amount of hole in the hood that typically is required with this kind of project, given the K24 stands vertically versus the horizontal configuration of the EJ motor. But we were able to accomplish that by, we added 3-inch spacer basically between the frame of the motor and the subframe. Ordered longer bolts Milled out the spacers and put them in there. Obviously, it required custom motor mounts to put the K24 in there. We had to take out the, grind out and take out a little bit of that subframe there that holds the power steering unit at the bottom part there. But we were able to accomplish that with a little bit of headache. It took a little bit of time, but we finally, made it work. One of the issues there was we didn't quite take out enough width of material, and we ended up, or in the end, we had this funny squeak that was going on, and we discovered it was just a little bit of a flange that we just needed to remove from the subframe that was still just slightly running up against the flywheel. So a lot of issues. We had to kind of customize our radiator. Obviously, I think it's well known out there the K24 is pretty prone, or it's a pretty common issue to have air bubbles in the coolant as you go forward. So getting those coolant bubbles out, wow, that kind of caused us a lot of frustration in the process of kind of finishing off the build and making sure it was cooling well enough. So because we had to remove the typical radiator mount and kind of move it into the, further into the engine bay, but just enough clearance in order to allow for the pulleys and the belt that runs to all the accessories. But we were able to make that happen. Kind of had to lower it a little bit. And then, it kind of got pushed into the engine bay versus, in that opening for the stock radiator. So we ended up using, I think it was an '05 Subaru Impreza radiator to make that all work as far as things go. I think I listed in the initial thing, some of the places that helped us as far as vendors and that kind of stuff. The clutch masters adapter plate, as well as flywheel and clutch, and as we move forward, we added a Haltech fuel sensor. We added a fuel pressure and temperature sensor, the drive-by-wire, the Bosch drive-by-wire throttle body, 74 millimeter, the Skunk intake manifold. We originally tied the K-Power, but that is oriented differently, where the throttle body is in the forward, the front of the car, and with the configuration of the hydraulic or the power steering pump, as well as the radiator clearance and so forth, it just wasn't going to work. So we ended up going with the Skunk, which orients the throttle body to the rear of the car. Coolant, working out the bugs with the coolant thing was a really big deal. It took us a lot of time, kind of, as we got the engine running, but weren't satisfied with the cooling. It did take a bit to kind of just, configure the cooling fans and that kind of stuff to make sure we're getting enough cooling through the engine. So added, initially had some issues with, we were getting some oil smoke out the tailpipe. And with the K20 oil pump, pushing a fair amount of, 90 PSI or something like that, definitely higher than what's recommended as far as turbos are concerned. So we put an oil pressure regulator on there, which really kind of helped to take care of that problem, but yet still continue to add adequate fuel pressure to the, not fuel pressure, but oil pressure to the turbo. Also, we added coolant lines from the radiator to the turbo as well to help keep it as cool as possible. I had mentioned earlier the utilizing the bulkhead connector for the engine harness. So we took the wiring that existed for the K24, adapted it into the B21 plug, which is basically the engine control, all of the wiring for the engine for the most part. That comes through that bulkhead connector, and pinned it out with got a new plug from iWire, pinned it out, and so then it goes through the bulkhead with the stock wiring. And then with the folks at Brewed Motorsports, we bought the ECU from them, as well as a wire harness that plugs into the Nexus S3 ECU, and then adapted it, plugged it basically straight in from there. We were able to configure it so it still sits underneath the passenger side, footwell, where the stock ECU sits. So we were really pretty happy about that. But it was a lot of research to kind of working through for a novice like me, and like my son, just kind of working through that whole pin out, assigning the different, wires and options that come with the ECU into this project was definitely a significant amount of research and time, but we're pretty happy with how it turned out. So we didn't have to really gut out the harness or pull that through. We just utilized the original bulkhead connector for the Subaru. We haven't had it on a dyno yet. We've road tuned it with the help of Eric at Brewed Motorsports. Great help, great suggestions, ideas, as well as just reviewing some data logs as we've gone through and done some road tuning. We'd love to get it onto a four-wheel dyno at some point in time, and even just at a minimum measure what kind of horsepower we're getting. Certainly it is, from our own anecdotal experience, definitely producing as much horsepower, if not more, as what you'd get for maybe a somewhat tuned EJ motor. And we're hoping that we get better longevity, so to speak, and reliability out of the K24. That was part of the whole inspiration behind the project. I'll again link kind of description, a lot of the things that we added to the motor, or accessories that we added in the process of it. For the most part, it's a stock K24 aside from the K20 oil pump. Everything else is basically bone stock, and then all of the accessories, different injectors and fuel rail and exhaust and all that kind of stuff. Maybe, I guess this video is just to say that if you take your time, if you're patient, if you're willing to research, if you're willing to kind of puzzle through things, it's something that a shade tree mechanic or whatever can do in their own garage or driveway, maybe, given them enough time and so forth. So there's resources out there. There's help out there for sure. So I'll link that stuff in the description. Happy to answer any questions, throw it in the comments or whatever. I'm not a big YouTuber, whatever that is, like, subscribe, I don't know. You can do what you want there. But, I'm happy to share also kind of the pinout as far as the plug is concerned, or how we kind of accomplish that. That's something I'm happy to share if someone's interested to reach out in the comments or whatever. Happy to talk more about the project, but that's kind of just what I wanted to share. Kind of explain a few more things aside from our little roadside thing. We were traveling when we decided to make this video. It's kind of crummy that we weren't able to, or we didn't take the time to film as we were going along. I mean, I think that's really kind of an awesome thing that a lot of people do. Maybe we were just too focused on getting things done, trying to get things done quickly, and rather than running the camera and explaining ourselves as we went, we just did it. And now you get to see the end project, or the end result of it all. So, I mean, I hope it helps somebody, or helps to inspire somebody to do a project like this, or know that it's possible, even without being having received a formal education in something like this, it's possible for some novices to accomplish, given enough research and time, and kind of just puzzling through things, along with the help and resources of people out there, vendors and so forth, or people that sold products to us that were always very helpful. So hope you all are well and enjoy.